Listen, folks, relationships can be tough. We all know that. They take work, compromise, and a whole lot of understanding. But sometimes you gotta face the hard truth. The relationship just ain't working. You might be hanging on hoping things will magically change, hoping your partner will suddenly see the light. But let me tell you something. Hoping and wishing won't fix a broken relationship. So, how do you know when it's time to walk away? When enough is enough? Well, I'm gonna lay it out for you. We're talking 10 clear signs that your relationship is on life support, and it might be time to pull the plug. Stay with me, because we're diving deep into each one of these red flags. You deserve to be in a relationship that brings you joy, not heartache. So buckle up and let's get real. Look, disagreements are normal in any relationship. You're two different people, you're gonna have different opinions. But when you find yourselves constantly butting heads, when every little thing turns into a knockdown, drag-out fight, that's a major problem. It's like you're stuck in a loop, rehashing the same arguments over and over. And let me tell you, that's exhausting. It wears you down, creates resentment, and sucks the life out of the relationship. Now, I'm not talking about healthy debates where you can agree to disagree. I'm talking about toxic arguments, the ones filled with yelling, name-calling, and personal attacks. That's a sign that communication has broken down and respect has flown out the window. If this sounds familiar, you need to ask yourself, why am I fighting so much? What's the root of the problem? Because constant arguing is a sign that something is seriously wrong, and you can't just sweep it under the rug. Let me tell you something, trust is the bedrock of any healthy relationship. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without trust, you got nothing. It's like building a house on quicksand. It's bound to collapse. When you trust your partner, you feel safe and secure. You know they have your back, that they'll be honest with you, and that they'll always act in your best interest. But when that trust is broken, it can be incredibly difficult to rebuild. Now, trust can be broken in many ways: infidelity, lying, betrayal, even constantly breaking promises. And when that happens, it creates cracks in the foundation of your relationship. If you're constantly questioning your partner's motives, if you're always looking over your shoulder, or if you just have this nagging feeling that something's not right, that's a sign that trust has been compromised. Look, we're going to talk about something that's tough but important: abuse. It's a topic that many shy away from, but it's crucial to bring it into the light. Let me be crystal clear, abuse is never acceptable. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what your situation is. Not physically, not emotionally, not ever. Abuse is a violation of your basic human rights. Nobody deserves to be treated that way, and don't you ever forget it. You have the right to live a life free from fear and harm. If your partner is physically hurting you, putting you in dangerous situations, or making you fear for your safety, that's a giant, flashing neon sign that you need to get out. Physical abuse can escalate quickly, and it's vital to recognize the signs early. This isn't about a bad day or a heated argument. This is about your well-being. Your safety and health should always come first. And don't think for a second that emotional abuse is any less serious. Emotional scars can run deep and take a long time to heal. Words can be weapons, folks. They can cut deeper than any physical wound and leave lasting damage. If your partner is constantly belittling you, controlling you, isolating you from loved ones, or making you feel worthless, that's emotional abuse, plain and simple. It's a form of manipulation and control that can be just as damaging as physical violence. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of abuse, thinking things will change or that it's your fault. Abusers often make their victims feel responsible for the abuse, but that's a lie. But let me tell you something, it's not your fault. You are not to blame for someone else's actions. You deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. You deserve to be treated with respect and love, not fear and control. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and love. If you're not experiencing that, it's time to seek help and make a change. Reach out to friends, family, or professional organizations that can offer support. There are resources available to help you navigate this difficult time and find a path to safety and healing. Remember, you are not alone. Many people have faced similar situations and have found the strength to move forward. You can too. Take that first step towards a better, safer future. You deserve it, you are worth it, and never ever forget that. Listen, relationships evolve. They are dynamic, ever-changing entities that reflect the growth and transformation of the individuals within them. You're not the same person you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, heck, even 5 minutes ago. Every experience, every conversation, every moment shapes you in some way. You change, your partner changes, and sometimes you grow in different directions. This divergence can be subtle at first, almost imperceptible. But over time, these small changes can accumulate, leading to a significant shift in the relationship's dynamic. It's a natural part of life, an inevitable consequence of personal growth and development. Yet, it can be tough to face in a relationship, especially when the bond that once felt unbreakable starts to feel strained. Early on, you probably couldn't keep your hands off each other, right? The excitement, the passion, the feeling that you were perfectly in sync. You had all the same interests, finished each other's sentences, and shared dreams for the future. It felt like nothing could come between you. But as time goes on, life happens. You might find yourselves disagreeing more, feeling like you're living parallel lives instead of sharing one. The little things that once seemed insignificant can start to feel like insurmountable obstacles. You might not even remember the last time you truly connected on a deeper level. Maybe you've grown apart because of life changes, new jobs, different cities, kids. These major life events can put a strain on even the strongest relationships. Or maybe your personal values, goals, and dreams have shifted over time. What once aligned perfectly now seems to be at odds. It's important to acknowledge these changes and ask yourself some tough questions. Are you both genuinely happy? Are you still on the same path, working towards similar goals? If the answer is no, it might be time to have an honest conversation about where the relationship is headed. This doesn't necessarily mean the end, but it does mean that both partners need to be willing to put in the effort to bridge the gap. Communication is key. Open, honest, and empathetic dialogue can help you understand each other's perspectives and find common ground. It's also important to remember that growing apart doesn't always mean growing away. Sometimes it can lead to a deeper, more mature connection if both partners are willing to adapt and grow together. Reflect on what brought you together in the first place. What qualities did you admire in each other? What shared experiences created your bond? Reconnecting with these memories can reignite the spark and remind you of the foundation your relationship was built on. Are you both willing to make compromises and adjustments to support each other's growth? Are you ready to invest time and energy into nurturing your relationship? If the answer is yes, then there's hope. Relationships require effort, patience, and a willingness to evolve together. If the answer is no, it might be time to consider whether staying together is truly the best path for both of you. Sometimes, letting go is the most loving thing you can do. Whatever the outcome, remember that growth is a journey. Whether you grow together or apart, it's all part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. Let's talk about needs. Not the I need a new pair of shoes kind of needs, but the deep down fundamental needs that every human being has in a relationship. Things like emotional support, intimacy, security, respect. These are non-negotiables, folks. Now, nobody's perfect, and every relationship has its ups and downs. You're not always going to see eye to eye, and there will be times when your partner falls short. That's normal. What's not normal is consistently feeling neglected, unimportant, or like your needs are being ignored. Take some time to reflect on your needs in a relationship. What are your deal breakers? What are the things you absolutely need to feel loved, respected, and fulfilled? Once you understand your own needs, you can start to assess whether your current relationship is meeting them. If you find yourself constantly compromising your needs, walking on eggshells, or feeling resentful, it's time to take a step back and have a serious conversation with your partner. We can try to dress it up all we want, put a bow on it, call it a difference of opinion, but at the end of the day, incompatible values are deal breakers. These aren't just about what you like on your pizza. This is about the core of who you are as people. We're talking about your beliefs, your morals, your goals in life. You might be able to overlook some differences in the honeymoon phase, but eventually, those cracks in the foundation are going to start to show. These fundamental disagreements can impact every aspect of your lives: how you raise your kids, how you spend your money, how you view the world. And let me tell you something, trying to make a relationship work with someone who has fundamentally different values is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and it's ultimately not going to work. You end up constantly compromising, sacrificing your own needs and beliefs just to try to make things work. But let me ask you this, how long are you willing to do that? How much of yourself are you willing to give up before you realize you've lost yourself completely? It's easy to get caught up in the memories of the good times, to think back to when things were simpler and you were both on the same page. Those moments can make you question whether the differences are really that significant. But the truth is, those fundamental values shape every decision you make, every path you choose. When your values don't align, every choice becomes a battleground. You might try to seek help, go to counseling, and work through your issues. And sometimes, you might find a way to bridge the gap, to find common ground. Those moments of breakthrough can feel like a victory, a sign that maybe, just maybe, things can work out. But then, new challenges arise, and those old issues resurface. The cycle of hope and disappointment can be draining, leaving you both feeling defeated. It's important to take a step back and reflect on what truly matters to you. To understand that sometimes letting go is the best choice for both of you. It doesn't mean you didn't love each other or that the relationship was a failure. It means you both deserve to be with someone whose values align with your own, someone who can truly understand and support you. And in the end, finding that alignment can lead to a more fulfilling and harmonious life. So, take the time to know yourself, to understand your values, and to seek out relationships that truly resonate with who you are. Because when you find that alignment, everything else falls into place. Incompatible values may be a tough pill to swallow, but recognizing them is the first step towards finding true happiness. Embrace the journey and trust that the right path will reveal itself in time, because in the end, it's about finding a life that aligns with your true self. And that, my friends, is worth every step of the journey. Now, when I say intimacy, I'm not just talking about sex, although that's certainly a part of it. I'm talking about that deep connection, that emotional and physical closeness that you share with your partner. It's about feeling seen, heard, and understood on a level that goes beyond words. It's about being vulnerable, letting your guard down, and feeling safe and secure in your partner's arms. But when intimacy starts to fade, the relationship can feel more like a roommate situation than a romantic partnership. That spark, that fire, it just starts to dwindle. You stop sharing your deepest thoughts and feelings, you stop making time for each other, and you start drifting apart. And that drift, well, it can turn into a chasm if you're not careful. Listen up, because this is important. Respect is non-negotiable in a relationship. It's the cornerstone, the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without respect, you got nothing. It's like trying to build a house on quicksand. It's just gonna crumble. Respect means valuing your partner's thoughts, feelings, and opinions, even if you don't always agree with them. It means treating them with kindness, consideration, and dignity. Disrespect, on the other hand, comes in many forms. It can be blatant, like name-calling, put-downs, or belittling, or it can be more subtle, like constant criticism, sarcasm, or eye-rolling. But let me tell you, subtle or not, disrespect is toxic to a relationship. It creates an environment of negativity, resentment, and distrust. Feeling drained? Look, folks, relationships are supposed to be a source of strength, not a drain on your energy. If you find yourself constantly feeling exhausted, emotionally drained, and just plain worn out by your partner, that's a big red flag. You should be excited to spend time with your partner, not dreading it. When your relationship starts feeling like an obligation, like a chore, then you need to take a step back. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Now, I'm not saying every day is going to be sunshine and roses. We all have bad days. We all go through tough times. But if your relationship is consistently making you feel more down than up, it might be time to reevaluate. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who makes you feel good, who adds to your life, not takes away from it. Don't settle for a relationship that leaves you feeling depleted. You deserve better than that. No future plans together. Now let's talk about the future. When you're in a healthy, committed relationship, it's natural to envision a future together. You make plans, you set goals, you dream big together. But if you find yourselves constantly avoiding conversations about the future, dancing around the what next, that's a major warning sign. Maybe one of you is eager to start a family while the other is hesitant, or perhaps you have different career aspirations that would take you on separate paths. These are serious conversations that need to happen. Avoiding them only leads to resentment and frustration down the line. Remember, folks, a relationship without shared goals is like a ship without a rudder. You're just drifting along aimlessly with no real destination in sight. Recognizing these 10 signs can be tough. Nobody wants to admit their relationship might be in trouble. But remember, acknowledging the problem is the first step towards fixing it. Or, sometimes, it's the wake-up call you needed to realize that you deserve better. You deserve to be in a relationship that brings you joy, not heartache. A relationship that uplifts you, not drags you down. Prioritize your own well-being. Don't settle for a relationship that leaves you feeling drained, unfulfilled, or disrespected. Remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. And sometimes, the bravest, most loving thing you can do is walk away from a relationship that no longer serves you.